either die a tag team, or you live long enough for one of you to become the villain. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling vlog, who always tells it like it is. While Raw and SmackDown finally have separate but equal tag team titles, you can't really say that much about the number of tag teams themselves. Well, sure, there may be enough to challenge both the New Judgment Day and the Tamas of the Bloodline, but it doesn't look like too many teams are actually lining up to face them. As of now, neither tag team titles are on the line at Bash in Berlin, though there's still one more week to give it a go. But the dog days of August seem to be melting the companionship of certain tag teams. And it seems we're very close to a blow-up, right after a similar breakup. We all saw what happened at NXT's Great American Bash. After failing to take the titles from Nathan Frazier and Axiom, Wesley took it out on his partner Wentz, and Wentz's radical partner from TNA. Now it looks like the team once known as MSK will be destroying themselves at No Mercy next week. Of course, the real breakup was when Wentz had that harassment issue that got him kicked out of NXT and crawling back to Impact, leaving Leo on his own. But when you low blow a longtime partner like that, yeah, that was almost as bad as when the Rockers broke up. Yeah, you remember them? Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty were considered tag team specialists, as in they would never consider going singles. That is, until Michaels put Jannetty through a plate glass window and struck out on his own. Jannetty tried to recover, but it seemed Michaels was the superstar. After all, he did go on to win Intercontinental, World, and Tag Team titles afterwards. Still, the way they broke up was vicious, or at least it was vicious for Jannetty. There have been numerous times when tag teams split up rather violently. For instance, when Akeem and the Big Boss Man broke up in 1989, they settled it in a WrestleMania match. Their team name, well, let's just say it's the same name as buildings that collapsed on 9/11 and leave it at that. In any case, that was practically the end of Akeem's run in the WWE and the start of Boss Man's face run. Speaking of 89, that was also when the team Strike Force broke up almost as suddenly as they came together. See, Rick Martel was teamed with Tom Zenk in the Can-Am Connection, but then Zenk left. So when Martel was left to fend off the Hart Foundation on his own, Tito Santana came in to be his partner, and in quick order they won the titles. They lost at WrestleMania 4, and when they tried to get back together at WrestleMania 5, Santana accidentally forearmed Martel during the match, causing them to lose the match and Martel to lose his temper, decimates Santana, and goes solo as the Model. I mean, even the predominant stable of the 2000s, Evolution, started to dissolve in 2004. First, all four members, Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton, and even Ric Flair, had all the Raw gold at the start of the year. After WrestleMania 20, only Orton had the Intercontinental title, which he lost only to take the World Heavyweight Championship a few months later. But since Triple H didn't want anyone but him to win with the title, they quite literally dumped him and took the title back. Then when Batista won the Royal Rumble, he had it with Triple H's ego and went against him at WrestleMania 21, winning the title. Now, one of the longest running teams in the WWE today is on the verge of total collapse. Ever since Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods formed the New Day, people have been laughing at them, cheering them, booing them, and chanting along with them. Then when Big E broke his neck last year, they tried to keep it together, and for a while have been doing well. But with the inclusion of Odyssey Jones, who was off TV for a year after being drafted to Raw last year, it seems that Woods is starting to believe the junk coming out of Karrion Kross's mouth. I'm sure Woods was happy to win the six-man match against the Final Testament, but well, you saw his face when Kingston tagged Jones instead of him, right? The end of the new day is nigh, and it doesn't look like it'll be pretty. But that's the point. It seems that in pro wrestling, you either stay together as a tag team for the duration of your time in a federation, or one of you turns on the other. Well, there have been amicable partings, like the Hart Foundation, the Hardy Boys, time or two, Braun Strowman and that kid who won the tag titles with, but more often than not, they end in blood, sweat, and tears between the former teammates. And if the first breakup of DIY is any indication, it can get very bloody. It's a sad part of the business, I'm afraid. One minute, you and your buddy are on top of the mountain, and the next you're doubting each other, and the next you're arguing and fighting with each other. Your only hope of reconciliation is that both of you are out of the company after a while and you start as a tag team again somewhere else. Either that or you begrudgingly get back together when you're put into the Hall of Fame. That might be where the New Day are headed. Can't we all just get along? When you're a tag team, not forever. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blog who always tells it like it is. Pray for peace, and I'll see ya